Unit 1 sample session, Berkhoff's Metamorphosis, the Windsor Girls' School, centre number 51545.
Annabelle Jewson, 1262.
Alicia Sharma, 1322.
Courtney Clark, 1205.
Alicia Martin, 1282. Molly Ann Noakes, 1299. Lizzie Fielder, 1224.
Okay, great. Do you want us to make a circle? Yeah, you go outside. So today's session is on vocal awareness. So we're looking at how you, as actors, can create or achieve Berkhoff's dramatic aims when he wants to use voice in the play. All right? Yeah. So we've done a bit of voice work before. As you know, the voice is an instrument of the actor. It's just like, well, think of it like a musical instrument. Okay? If you're a singer, you sing. If you're a pianist, you play the piano. The same with the voice. You need to warm it up just like you would a trombone. Okay? So we're just going to do a quick vocal warm-up so that you can use the full expressive range of your voice. Alright? So first up, we'll just do sort of musculars around the face. So we'll do this very quickly. You know the score. Big face. Little face. A big face. Ah, little face. And chew. Right, little gum. Getting bigger. Bigger. Distort your face into areas that you've never expressed them before. Aha. And back down again. Bear it away and in the bin. And just give yourself a little facial massage, just give it a little rub. Try and sort of clear any blockage in your sinuses. Set everything and do that again but with the tongue as well. Okay, are you a bit dizzy?
Yeah, slightly.
Alright, now I'm just going to do some breathing, okay? So we're going to try and control our breath. Remember when we've done stuff on rib reserve breathing, when we're all lying on the floor, we're trying to get rid of all of those inhibitions on your voice. So anything where your voice gets stopped, like it could be your throat, it could be your nose. And also to try and start your voice right from down here, okay? So it's important to try and breathe and fill your cavity down here so you've got a bigger muscle to kind of push the breath through your vocal cords. So breathe in. And out. Okay, we're going to breathe in and you're going to hum out this time. Breathe in for 3, 2, 3, and hum for 7. More power, more power. 6, 7, stop. This time hum, but I want your lips to be literally like vibrating, so they almost start itching.
That's so funny.
It's funny, yeah. Get it so literally how loud can we hum without sort of breaking out into it, alright? So breathe in. Stop. Okay. Feel strange? Teeth feel a bit funny?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, take a step back. Okay. Remember when we did that exercise on the column of light, when you were lying on the floor and you had to sort of get that column of light right from the ceiling? Filled with sand and it all emptied out. Sort of going that way again, but I just want you to visualise that. And so imagine it's a column of light, so your voice, or the sound you're making, is coming out from the deep, dark depths of right down here, and it's shining like a torch beam onto the wall opposite you. Alright? I'm just going to go on, alright? Don't worry, I'm not worried about the notes, I'm not worried about beautiful singing quality, I just want, something that's really sort of powerful. I'd like it to sound clean though, so it's not, it's not, it's alright? Breathe in. Stop. Who felt any restriction there?
Me.
I did. I've got a bit of a cold at the moment, and it's like it started tickling my throat. Where do you feel any restrictions?
There.
It's all kind of in the throat, isn't it? So it might be that you're stretching too much, and so remember the voice box, just a tiny little thumbnail-sized thing here, and it's just how taut that is that raises the tone or the pitch. So try it again. It might be better if you point it down to the floor. So just try and let's make a massive pool of light down there. Imagine we're all stood around this campfire. Okay? Breathe in. Is that any better?
No.
No. Isn't quite working there
I feel
either.
like I'm better.
Up.
Like, up, not
All right.
down.
Let's try it. We're going to sort of move around with it. Actually, no. Okay, let's just try it. Maybe it's the because the kind of restricts it. Maybe it's better on ooh or an e or an or just yeah, just like an
Okay.
The most relaxed you can possibly be. So I want you to be completely relaxed. And it's like an ball. You ready? Breathe in. Stop. Good. Now, I want you to take that and almost imagine it's like vomit coming from like the recesses of your soul, right? So it's so it's just like it's just pouring out of you. And if it's running out, take a breath and pour it out again. All right? Imagine you're filling a massive paddling full of vocal sick. Okay? It's a weird image, but it might help. Don't be so stiff with it, okay? Literally bring your body and involve that in as well, okay? And see how the movement of your body affects the voice. Breathe in. Good.
So red.
I know. So I was enjoying that. So it was a good hurl. Okay. We're gonna take that. We're not making beautiful noises. This isn't about creating symphonies, okay? This is just about connecting your voice with your inner. Remember total theatre, making the internal external. We're taking everything from in here and we're putting it out on stage, and we're not concerned whether it's beautiful or anything like that. Okay? Sort of Artodian, that theatre of just that we want to kind of shock the audience with how brutally honest we're being with our voice. Yeah? I'm going to be a conductor, right? We're going to take this. What's this?
Clocks.
No.
Spider.
Ooh, nearly. Yeah.
A beetle.
A beetle, yes, good. Right, it's a beetle, and he is the conductor, okay? So I want you to imagine this is Gregor, and as he moves, I want you to just make whatever sound you think is appropriate to the movement of the beetle. There is no wrong answer here, you cannot possibly be wrong, okay? And then, when the beetle goes there, then you're going to take the beetle and you're going to lead us, okay? So you're going to become like conductor, and then you pass it on when you've had enough or whatever, and we just sort of pass it around, okay? So this is just about being completely free, all right? Don't worry, you're not going to be. Nobody's going to see this. Are you ready? well done, good. It was nice not to be able to think about your voice then, wasn't it? So you would just, I think, after a certain while, it was just coming, wasn't it? It was like, and that's the kind of freedom that you need to approach Berkoff with. If I was Berkoff in this room directing you, and you just said your lines like this, like you would as a normal actor or whatever, it'd be more, it'd be after more. Okay? Right, just take a second. Okay, I'm going to see if we can apply this to the text. Now, I'm going to give you... Lizzie, could you just come over here? Right. On the top of page 89, we'll see a fairly short monologue by Gregor. And it's at the beginning of the play, just after the chief clerk has turned up. Yeah? All I want you to do, Molly, can you just read that just short monologue?
Sir, I'm just going to open the door this very minute. Slight illness, attack of giddiness, kept me in bed. Getting up now. Just a moment longer. Sudden attack. Be right as rain soon. No foundations in your reports. No one said anything to me. Obviously you haven't looked at my last order. Spare my parents. I'll catch the 8 o'clock train. Don't let me detain you. Please make my excuses.
Good. Okay. Now, the stage directions before this, crying out, a guttural voice. Do you understand what it's meant by guttural?
From your gut.
From your gut, it's from down, like the vomiting into that pool. A creature less than human, his words become less and less distinguishable to them. They all rush to the door. So we're seeing, this is Gregor, so we've seen his physical transformation when he's up in bed and he's like, I can't get out, and he sort of, he's plopping over and he can't move his arms, and the actor, Berkoff would have had the actor in that, eventually in that familiar pose. We need to have a vocal transformation as well. Even if Gregor doesn't use it later on in the play, the whole play he doesn't talk a beat all the time, but we need the audience to clock.
Make the transition in their mind.
Yes, because the convention is that the family can't understand Gregor throughout the rest of the play. So this sets up that convention, yeah? So the vocals are really important here. I want you to take that speech, right? And I want you to take your own little beatle, and I just want you can walk around with it, I want you to read the lines and conduct yourself at the same time, like we just did, but you're going to be doing it at the same time, okay? So it could be, Sir, I'm just going to open the door, okay? You get the idea? Yeah. Okay? Alright, so find a space. If you could stay on the white, that would be handy. And take it away.
I'm just
Okay, good. How did that feel? Did it add any meaning to the text? Did it start putting you in the mindset of Gregor? Felt a bit awkward. Okay, why?
It's difficult to compose the sound while you're doing it.
Okay, you're multitasking now, you're doing two things. Okay, but you've done that once, imagine that's your first sort of read through. Now you can still use the beatle if you want to, but I'd like the beatle, well no, actually take the beatle away and just let your body become the beatle. Okay? So you're not being conducted by a hand anymore, you're being conducted by the way that you are moving. So now it doesn't need to be you're stuck in bed or anything, but how do beetles move? Give me some adjectives that will describe the movement of the beetle.
Agile.
Jerky. Agile, okay, yeah.
Robotic.
What was that?
Mechanical.
Mechanical, yeah. Anything else?
It's quite large though,
Quick.
slow.
Scuttling.
Scuttling, good. What?
Scurry.
Scurry, yes, scurrying, scuttling. Quick, but also
Bit stops.
They stop,
They
yeah.
pause.
Yeah, that stillness. I'm not going to move at all, and then I'm going to move really quickly. Or I'm going to creep up on that leaf and then just have a little munch. But then something's going to come along and frighten me and off I go again. So think of all those words as you're going through it. See if you can make your voice match the movement of your body. Don't think too much about it. Just go with it. And you'll all be doing it at the same time. Okay?
So we're doing it just like that, but without hand. So
Yeah, so without the hand. So, sir, I'm just going to open the door. Do you see what I mean? So it doesn't like. So you can just do whatever you want with it. All right? In your own time. Take it away.
Get the ball rolling.
Well done, Molly. Yeah.
I'm just trying
Good, well done. Excellent. Now, is the movement helping your vocals?
Yeah, better
Better than the hand.
Yeah.
So now that you've completely immersed your whole body into it, it's working. That is very much what Berkoff is all about. He wants the actor to literally sacrifice his body on the altar of the part, okay? He wants, it's total theatre. Everything must be used. Everything. In order to create a really visceral, visual, like oral experience for the audience. He makes his actors sweat, blood and tears to get where they're going. Okay? I want you to do it once more, alright? But this time, remember how you use the voice? But Gregor would have been stuck at this point in the play. So the movement is gone. So I just want you to focus purely on the voice. Use what you've just done, but take the movement out. Be frozen. And just do the voice on its own now. Okay? You got that? Alright. Find a space.
I was just trying to open the door, but...
You're getting a bit hot. I'll do it. Yeah, no worries. Okay, and take it away.
Sir, I'm just going to open the door.
Okay, how's that?
Good.
Good? Yeah? I could hear you, and that's all I really needed to do. And it sounded like somebody who was... What's Gregor's state of mind at the moment?
Panic, confused.
Panicked, confused, good?
Scared about the chief.
Scared, yeah. Why is he... Of all the people, why would they do that? So annoyed as well. Frustrated.
He's not really worried about being a bug, he's just worried about what's going on.
That's
Yeah.
money.
Amazing. Imagine you woke up one morning, you turned into a bug, yet you were still worried about,
Not being a bug.
Mrs. Labram turning up and saying, "Why aren't you at school?" I'm so sorry. I will be there. Just I've sorted out this bug issue. Okay. Just give me those back. We need them again. And you want to just sit on the floor for a second. Okay, I'm just going to read you a little excerpt from Stephen Berkoff's Meditations on Metamorphosis. I mentioned this book before. This is when you read it. Well done, Molly. This is when he was putting on a version of Metamorphosis in Japan. So working with actors who couldn't really speak English, so he had to use every sort of fibre of his being to sort of get across to communicate with the sort of foreign actors. So Today we attempt to find a way into one of the domestic scenes, which seem a touch too wordy and floppy. It is the scene in which they discuss Gregor's predicament, and the mother and father differ wildly about the contribution Gregor made to the household, with the father naturally trying to diminish it. The mother winds up her husband by implying that Gregor kept them and the house from suffering any hardship, only through a great deal of self-sacrifice, etc. Mr. Sampson is made to feel guilty, since Gregor has indeed scurried about like a veritable insect to fulfil the daily needs. It is a longish scene, and we use a method of expressing the words as if they were blows to the body. As each accusation hits home, it causes a withdrawal as it draws blood. It makes for an exciting and interesting image, but even there it has its limits. As they argue, I want the scene to disintegrate somehow, as if their plight were tearing the fabric of the family apart. The words hurt, accuse, and fly, but it is the noise that torments Gregor, as well as the content of the row, the raised voices, the shouting accusations. So at the end of the scene, I suggest that the actors mouth further imprecations against each other, while the drum rolls backwards and forwards, suggesting the fury of their encounter as the two shake fists, gesticulate, bare teeth, rise from their stools and sit again. The drum speaks for them, and it creates a weird scenario, as if you were watching a fight at a distance. We could only imagine the terrible things the combatants were saying to each other. The imagination is always more vivid when it has to fill the gaps. The concealed is always more alluring than the revealed. I found that to be quite an interesting thing, seeing as we've always said, when we were looking at Brecht the other day, about not concealing anything, about making everything explicit and obvious, and showing everything, and displaying the character, that Berkhoff says that the concealed is always more alluring than the revealed. It shows that Berkhoff is taking elements of Stanislavski naturalism as well as art. I mean, that's how we explored Gregor's character, didn't we? We looked at a naturalistic approach, and it did help. Greta covers her ears. Mr. Sampson climaxes the scene by raising his fists as if to strike her, perhaps for the first time in his life, and Mrs. Sampson rises to meet him and doesn't cower, nails ready to make tracks in his face. They stand like two primordial beasts, quivering with rage, face to face, neither of them able to strike first. Okay, I thought we'd try that, all right, in pairs. I've got the scene I presume that he's talking about. Now, when we've not really looked at this scene in this amount of depth before, but it is a very useful scene because it highlights the themes of guilt in the play, that Mr. Sampson is possibly feeling guilty, but essentially he's very selfish.
We have done a potato.
Yeah, it's after the potato.
Oh.
Was it 101?
Yeah.
So I'd like you to look at... So you've just done the potato bit. I don't need any more food. I wish you'd eat it once. You turn to the potato's mother, who refuses it and pushes it back to Greta. I want no more of this silly nonsense. The potatoes push around faster and faster, and eventually Greta misses it, and it falls to the floor. Ba-dum. Oh, I'm sorry. It was all my fault. Could you three just read this as it is at the moment? Greta, oh I'm sorry, Mrs. Sampson and Mr. Sampson.
Oh, I'm sorry, it was all my fault.
No, it wasn't. It's nobody's fault. Dear me, what's it to do about a potato? It won't go to waste. We'll save it for Gregor. Look, Father, why don't you let Gregor go out and get a beer for you?
Yes, let me get a beer for you, Father, like you used to have after supper.
No, thank you, Greta.
Come on, you know you like a beer after supper.
If there's not enough money for potatoes, there's not enough money for beer.
No.
Did you hear that? Perhaps he can understand what we're saying.
Of course not.
How do you know? How can you tell? Perhaps he listens to us.
Then maybe he should listen. Won't hurt him to know.
Father!
Well, maybe you should know that his indisposition of... Or maybe he should know what this indisposition of his has caused us. And then he'd appreciate what we're doing for him and how we're suffering on his account.
What about Gregor? I don't suppose you think he's suffering, shut up in his room, not seeing a soul, not knowing what's going to happen. You owe him a lot. Don't forget that.
I do. I do.
I do?
Yes, all of us. How he toiled day and night to be a commercial traveller, travelling up and down the country to all those awful places to take orders.
All sigh.
And the letters he wrote, those miserable letters from those cold hotel rooms.
We simply took it for granted, and how he longed to hear you play the violin again. Yes, always knowing that he would earn enough to support us, and so often he wasn't even home to enjoy it.
Okay. Now, the way that is played here is kind of sympathetic. But essentially what Mr. and Mrs. Sampson are saying to each other, Mr. Sampson is saying, you owe a lot to Gregor, you need to stop being so nasty about him. Now that is probably the first time Mrs. Sampson has really spoken up about this. Like, he has supported this family, and what is that doing? How does that affect Mr. Sampson? What is he going to think about that?
Getting defensive.
Yeah, why?
Because he knows it, really.
He doesn't
But
want to
it's
accept
just-
He knows it, he doesn't want to accept it. It should have been his duty to raise his family. As being the patriarch, he's all happy to have the family running around and doing all that stuff, get me a beer, get me cigars and all that sort of stuff, but he's not actually prepared to be the one getting up and going to work. So he's probably feeling a little bit guilty about that. Can we just go into pairs, just as you are, okay? And I'm just interested in seeing you literally at the top of 101. There's like 6 lines. Then maybe he should listen. Won't hurt him to know. Father! Well, maybe he should know what this indisposition of his has caused us. I want you to think about what Berghoff said in that diary. He was using each words like missiles, throwing them at each other. So turn this kind of what looks like a fairly sedentary argument, and then which ends in, oh yeah, into World War II. Okay? So see how the voice can turn this scene on its head a little bit. Now I have got a drum, but I can't, I'm not really, I've got one working hand and not really drum. So I'm going to put some, I want you to do it a couple of times, and then eventually, once you get to the end, so literally, yes, all of us, how we toiled day and night to be a commercial traveller, travelling up and down the country to all those awful places to take orders. Then, at some point, we're going to do it, and then I'll cut in some sort of drum-heavy music, and I want you to carry on the argument without words, okay? So we're moving
That's
into...
6 lines.
Yeah, so literally... you see the 2 pencil marks? Is that on your phone?
Oh, right, yeah, sorry.
Like miming it, like still
Yeah.
mouthing the words.
Yeah, remember what you said about she's baring her teeth and they become like 2 primordial beasts going at each other. So take it from this argument that starts, let the voice wind you up as an actor. Almost don't listen to what you're saying. Just like we did before, just throw out words like spears throwing at each other, or apples throwing, whatever you want to, however you want to think about it. And it's like words, leave, whatever you're saying, okay. And eventually, it's going to affect your body because you can't help it. And then when the music kicks in, carry on with physical, but take out the vocal. All right?
Yeah.
Just go. I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes to go through those 6 lines a couple of times, and then we'll do it with that music.
Shout.
Okay. Do we start?
Then maybe again.
Then maybe he should listen. Maybe he should know. Well, maybe he shouldn't. Cool.
Yeah.
Then maybe he should listen. What he has to know. And then maybe he should know that this innocence is less. Of course. Well, maybe he should know what this is. We're doing for kids. We're suffering. She did have. And I suppose he thinks he's suffering. Shut up. What about Gregor? He's suffering. What's going to happen? You heard him. Shut up in his room. You can't see a soul. Yes. No, it was. How he talked all day and night to be a commercial traveller. Maybe he should listen.
Very good, very good. The vocal energy in the room is fantastic, okay? Now, think about how you were conducting yourself as a Beatle before. Become more free with your physical. We've now got to fuse the vocal and the physical together. They cannot exist in separate entities, okay? Now, it's not like one line, one line, one line. There's a point where Mr. Sampson has quite a big bit, and Mr. Sampson has quite a big bit. With those words that you're now hurling and doing so well at, I want to see a physical, fight brewing. And when you, you can do it in that sort of way, or you can literally, however you want to do it. But I want to see the reaction from the other person as well. Like, that hurts! Oh, how dare you! Ooh! It's that kind of, ooh, yeah, and then you're going to go back at them like that, okay? I know you're not off script, so you've also got a script in your hand, but I don't really care what you're saying, okay? I care about what I can see and hear, alright?
Can we throw in, when they have a massive number, can we throw into, what?
If you want. Yeah, okay.
No, I'm silent, Fred is like...
Yeah, but don't be sort of you are being abused. No. You're being abused. So take that. So even so it could be a what, or it could be a ooh. It could be you're being hit with those words. Okay. So less language, more guttural reactions to what is being said of you. Okay. Do it once more. Couple of times more.
Then maybe he should listen. He should listen. Wait, he should listen. Maybe he should. Maybe he should learn from his sister. And maybe appreciate what he's doing. What is that, Gregor? I suppose you think he's suffering. He's suffering. Shut up in his room, not seeing a soul. Shut up, no one's going to happen. You like it a lot. Tell me what's going on. Yes, a lot. I enjoy all day and night. Yes, all that stuff. Travelling up and down the country. Not. Maybe he should listen to us.
Okay, better. But if we have more time, I would push this further and further and further, okay? I want you to do it individually, okay? And
can we not do the music?
I'm going to add the drums, and so you're just going to kind of improvise that afterwards. But
we don't say anything when the music is on.
When the music is on, it's just, imagine you're just like a married couple in a massive row. It's picking up the wedding crockery and hurling at each other. It's that kind of hugeness, and it's just everything. Like the words are vomiting out of your mouth at each other, and it's like they're splatting each other. Like it becomes a visual fight then. Okay. The way you're moving at the moment, you're nearly there, and you've got some lovely stuff, but it's all still a bit natural. See if you can take it. Think about how you described the Beatle earlier. I know this isn't Gregor, but the point of the play is we are all like Gregor. And in fact, the family, are probably all like young Beatles and they are. So you can go into that kind of, those kind of a little bit inhuman movements, alright? So it's not so wandery, I'm fighting you, it's more, let your physical go with your body. I do want to see them one at a time. Is that all right?
I accidentally spat in Courtney's face.
Spit in it. Yeah, absolutely. Right, Courtney. So you girls just want to sit down.
Yay! I'm fine, mate. You're happy. Let's have it.
What's the last line?
Yes, all of us. How we toil day and night to be a commercial traveller.
Still can't say that word.
I get two of the moments and I forget
to be a commercial traveller. Yes, you kind of do, but I don't care if you go off. All right.
So we do it normal, shouting, so we just smile.
Yeah, so do it as you would, and then the music will come in, and literally when the music comes in, throw your scripts away and just give us the physical attributes.
Oh, we were dramatic.
Yeah, throw the scripts away. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then maybe he should listen. We won't hurt him to know. Father! Or maybe he should know what this indisposition of his has caused us. And then he'd appreciate what we're doing for him and how we're suffering on his account.
What about Gregor? I don't suppose you think he's suffering?
I think the bell went under there. Let's just do the other two very quickly.
I love you, Dylan.
That was great. That was great.
What just happened?
Right. Sorry, I'm starting my cue. Can I have one of those scripts? One of yours that you've already had. There we go. This one? Okay, the author's ready to take orders. That's it. Okay. All right, go. Yeah.
Then maybe he should listen. Won't hurt him to know. Father! Well, maybe he should know what this imposition of us has caused us. And then he'd appreciate what he's been doing. And that we're suffering on his account.
What about Gregor? I don't suppose you know he's been suffering, shut up in his room, not seeing a soul, not knowing what's going to happen. You owe him a lot. Don't forget that.
I do!
Yes, all of us. How he toiled day and night to be a commercial traveller, standing up and down the country to do all those awful places to take orders.
What did you say? Great. Let's just see the last one, then we'll just kind of sum up. Well, I'd literally like to see you now take like kill each other at the end of this. Is it like because it can go into that kind of surreal? All right. Go.
Then maybe he should listen. Won't hurt him to know. Father! Well, maybe he should know what this indisposition of his has caused us. And then he'd appreciate what we're doing for him and how we're suffering on his account.
What about Gregor? I don't suppose you think he's suffering? Shut up in his room, not seeing a soul, not knowing what's going to happen? You owe him a lot, don't forget that.
I do?
Yes, all of us! How he toiled day and night to be a commercial traveller, travelling up and down the country to all those awful places to take the orders.
Just go and sit down. Good. Are you feeling a little bit liberated now? It makes you feel better.
I've been angry in ages.
Good, good. This is exactly what you need. Look at the board. Can you read that quote?
What is vital to the spectator is your core, the inner part of your soul.
Okay. What is vital to the spectator is your core, the inner part of your soul. I think we got glimpses of it then, once you can sort of release. If we were going to take this scene further, right, and get it ready for performance, how would you move this on from here, from where you are there now? Now, I thought they were really great, but how would you keep going?
Probably use the actions within the text.
The actions within the text.
Yeah.
Choreograph it a bit.
Yeah,
more.
but yeah.
Okay.
I would build the music up all the way through.
Yeah.
So it's building,
I think
okay.
it needs more tension being built by the sound.
At the end.
Could like get
I think that there should be like strobes.
Yeah, strobes in there.
Yeah, the
Okay.
strobe light at the end, that'd be really cool.
Alright, fine.
If we learn it a bit more, then
Without script,
yeah.
it'd be
So
better.
it'll be like, sometimes it'll be like,
Yeah, because you'd be really angry then. I don't know what next word.
yeah, you're restricted a bit. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they're all very valid, good ideas. What about character as well? Like, sometimes I was like, who's the mother, who's the
I
father?
was the father.
Yeah.
Well, I was the mother, but I was the father.
What?
Huh?
I was too angry.
Yeah, she was a
For a
very
mother.
manly woman.
Yeah, there was almost a bit of role reversal there. But that can work.
I was
Like,
trying to belittle.
you can play with that. Okay, right. Well done today. So you can see that essentially the vocal, being vocally aware in Berkhoff is vitally important, but you cannot separate it from the physical. The two are intrinsically linked. They're your two kind of instruments that will create total theatre in the end. Yeah? And it's got to come from here, and it's got to literally vomit out of your body as far as this place is concerned. Right, well done. I'll see you Monday.
Wait a while, thank you.